Hello, welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to Game 2 of this best of 3. It's from the Zotac Cup. It is between dDreAm in the lower left position as the blue Protoss player and MaSsan as the red Zerg in the top right. The map is Daybreak, everyone's favourite map. We did a little survey of this at I-47 with the crowd. We were like, do any of you not like Daybreak? Only one person put up their hand and I swear they were trolling me. So I think everyone loves this map. It's just such a good map to play on, to watch, to cast. Everything is special about it. But, well, obviously game 1, let's talk about that a little bit. dDreAm was really aggressive. 5 gateway push. Well, that was good. Followed it up with kind of, it was sort of a 3 Immortal Sentry push, just with 7 gates backing it up. And obviously the Warp Prism as well, and that worked quite effectively. dDreAm had some immense pickup micro with his Immortals, but unfortunately for him, MaSsan just had too many units and came through and won. So it was a close game. The actual big engagement lasted forever, so I'm really thinking this will be pretty close. I look forward to see what happens. Obviously, this is MLG Daybreak as well, so there is this supply depot there. So dDreAm can't go and wall off, and well, obviously, that's good for MaSsan. dDreAm, not the sole person who would cheese. I mean, he's not afraid to, though. In the open bracket of ESET UK Masters, God, I couldn't say that then. I said it so much over the weekend. He did have a cannon rush, but other than that, he plays pretty standard. He's got some really good strategies. MaSsan, of course, I've cast him quite a bit. He is really impressive. He is probably one of the biggest up-and-comers I've seen recently. He's playing solidly, so yeah, really good to see. Now obviously MaSsan gone for the pull first. He's now following this up with a hatchery. Meanwhile dDreAm, he had the pylon on the low ground, different to game 1. He's got the Nexus first, so that's perfectly normal because this map is huge. The rush distance is absolutely enormous. You can happily go Nexus first, and I don't think dDreAm's even gone and scouted. No, he's just like, I am safe on this map. I'm not going to come and have a look what you're doing. It'll all be good. This is probably going to be, well, no, he's not going to go and scout with that. He should scout at some point. It's always good. Meanwhile, obviously this Overlord is coming to check around here, make sure there's no cannons down or anything like that. The natural base, about half done, the first queen in production. Meanwhile, the Forge nearly finished up for dDreAm. Will chuck down a cannon next after that, and then obviously get the gateway and cybercore. So this is all looking very, very standard. Everything about it, the matchup as a whole, I think is really good. And of course, the only thing mixing that up is obviously this was before the changes to infestors, so that will be quite interesting to see how that affects the matchup, to be honest, because there's a lot to be said about it. Reducing the infestor range by 1, that has some interesting dynamics to it. I think the biggest thing that's going to affect ZVP though is infestor Terrans. The fact that their eggs have less health. Storm from High Templar, I think High Templar are going to become a lot more potent in the matchup. And Storm as a whole is going to be used a lot more in order to deal with mass infested Terran. Now, obviously, MaSsan happily chucking down his third base. That came down at pretty much 4 minutes, so he does get it quite early. Meanwhile, dDreAm getting up his gateway, everything's looking fairly normal. This one probe coming to scout over. We'll see the third base, which is no surprise, or at least it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that that third base will come up in this situation. Now, the Overlord is going to come in position back here. A nice place to put that Overlord is actually just up on this little bit of high ground there. It's very annoying to pick it off. Alternatively, you can stick it in the front here. You should get one there anyway, and that's what this one's coming over to. Overlord there. Overlord back here. Meanwhile, obviously that probe looking like it's going to escape. This is one very, very lucky probe, although it does have some more corners to turn. And of course, every time it turns a corner, it takes a hit, but it has a tiny little bit of shields there. The cannon is up. Go on, probe. You can make it. MaSsan even pulling back. Hero probe. He did his job, and he got back to tell the story to his grandchildren. So that, of course, is always good news. Those little baby probes, they'll want to know how their dad's dad went out to the evil Zerg base and found everything. But, well, back to the game. Zealot holding the watchtower, everything to be expected there. Droning. The drone count now just starting to pull ahead for MaSsan, which is to be expected. He's got his third base up, he's got his third queen. Inject should start hitting shortly. No, his third queen's just coming up now, so obviously, you know, he's probably going to sing those up. Meanwhile, in terms of strategy, we've got, well, more gateways yet again. Up to 4 gates. Are we going to see the 5th? There we go. So exactly the same build dDreAm went for in game 1, where he just warped in an awful lot of Zealots. He does have the setup moving forward, and I'm sure I saw a pylon start building somewhere. Where was that? Did I just imagine that? I don't think I did. The probe is going to get taken down though, unfortunately, so that puts an end to that kind of pressure play straight away, which is good news for MaSsan, who may have a good idea of what's going on, knows that it's probably going to be a 2-base all-in just by the fact that he's got that. Sees now the 3rd and 4th gas come down though, so that can suggest that it's going to be going up to 3rd base. The Roach Warren just starting. These 2 Zealots, they can come and poke and prod, they can run around, they can try and kill a drone or 2, and of course every drone you kill is always good. Forcing any more units is always good as well, so everything. This is fine. You lose 200 minerals. But again, you didn't do too much damage, which is a bit annoying. Showing your opponent you're happy to be aggressive, but also allow Dream to get this pylon down. That is the really big thing. Even more for pylon, but it gets spotted, of course. That is seen by this Overlord up here. I love that placement. That's a really common place to put a pylon down, or up here. So obviously that is now completely known. The Zerglings are going to come and deal with that, but we do have a big warping of Zealots. They may be able to defend this. The lair coming up behind this from MaSsan. The robotic facility about to finish up there for Dream as well. The single spine crawler coming down. So actually no, double spine crawler coming down now. So that is really, really good play by MaSsan, adjusting to the build that he knows is most likely to be coming, trying to get the kill on that spine crawler. The 3 Zealots just chasing down the Queen. A good surround attempted, but here comes the Stalkers. But they're getting harassed by Zerglings. They need to be careful. Meanwhile, the Queen, is it going to go? Is it going to go? Yes, it is. Another big win. Of course, that hurts the production. As I said in game 1, the spine crawler is going to start taking some damage, and MaSsan just does not have as many units here to deal with this. Of course, gone quite roach heavy, but Dream adjusting to game 1, getting more Stalkers out, not going purely for those Zealots, and as a result, he's going to have a much better time against the roaches. We may see some more warp-ins going, but they're actually warping in back in the main base. There is that Immortal there. We've got the 2nd Immortal coming out, so this could be followed up with some more pressure. Meanwhile, MaSsan will be able to take out this pylon in Dream. He needs to rebuild them because he is about to get supply blocked. That is very, very irritating for him. And of course, he only has 1 pylon in production, which won't unsupply block him. If this one goes down as well, if it does get scouted, which for the time being it looks like it's going to get away safely. Oh no, it's not. I was wrong, it's going to die. The poor pylon. Dream, build more pylons. Build pylons everywhere. There we go. He quickly kicked it in. The 3rd base coming down. So this counter-attack is en route. And, well, if it's too much, then we could see a bit of problems here. But Dream, I'm confident he's going to be able to hold this off. There's not too much stuff here at the moment. So, obviously, with those Immortals out, with the Sentries, with the Stalkers, the double cannon coming down, everything should be okay. But where is this push going to go? It looks like it's just coming up here. Dream does need to be careful not to get surrounded. Of course, in game 1, that is what really cost him the game, in my opinion, was that surround. But good force fields on their way. Some more force fields, a tiny gap there. Of course, not quite enough Sentries. A surround does go down those roaches. Focus firing down the Immortals. But, well, if both Immortals go, that could be some problems. But, well, one is surviving for the moment, but no, he does get picked off. Luckily, though, Dream is able to take this down. I don't know if any scouting went down. Well, the Soul Pylon there, so you can probably assume and get the read on the game there that there is going to be in a 3rd base. So, MaSsan now really needs to either all in or take his 4th. That's really the 2 options you have available to you. Roach speed, of course, is done. The lair is done. I don't see an infestation pit, though, which I find quite shocking because, obviously, as I said, this is before the infestor change, and infestors are good units then. Really, really good units, and infestors are usually rushed out ASAP. I mean, just timing-wise, you want to get your infestors out. Well, now you want to have them hitting, really, so the infestation pit should already be done. Obviously, Overlord drop tech, as well as Overlord speed on its way, so we could see some Roach drops, which would be great. The Twilight Council on its way down. And, well, MaSsan wisely pulling back, realizing, hey, I don't have enough stuff to deal with that. Dream with a great observer position can see precisely what he needs to do in order to defend this push. And he's just getting out units ASAP. But here come the Overlords with Overlord speed. Roach drop is going to be coming down. This is going to be quite difficult to deal with. I think MaSsan may even actually take this now. It's going to take an absolute miracle defend. But, well, if anyone's going to do a miracle defend, it is going to be Dream, who now sees the Overlords come over. There's only one reason you get all those Overlords. Sees the drop filling up. He needs to be ready to deal with this ASAP. If the drop is going to go into the main base, is he going to get any warp-ins? No, he's not for the time being. Dream! Dream! Go over there! Go! Oh, this is going to be absolutely devastating to watch right now. So much damage is going to be done. Dream completely out of position. This little force is going to be able to do so much damage. The Twilight Council will get picked off. That one Artosis pylon is pretty nicely defended, though so many probes going to die. Meanwhile, a handful of units at the front, and I think that's just going to be GG right there. I would be amazed if Dream comes back from this. There's just too many units. The Immortal goes down. Meanwhile, there's more units pushing up at the front. Dream does have a good defend there, though. He does have his 3rd base, though, so that's the only saving grace, but the main is about to get completely destroyed. Blink is depowered, so not researching anymore. And, well, Dream, he's got to come up with a good solution to this. He may not be out of it yet, but of course he's at a half the supply, which is never a good sign. Worker supply, the army supply, all heavily in MaSsan's favour, and well, MaSsan would have to actively lose this game in my opinion. Upgrade advantage is there for Dream though. That's the one plus side. He's warping in some more units. He's about to lose most of his production though. That leaves him with one gate and one robo. The rest of the Roshi is coming down, trying to pick off the forge, which unfortunately isn't researching anything for MaSsan, but well, the 4th base coming down, and this is pretty much it. Yeah, this is not fun times in the slightest for the blue Protoss player, who now doesn't have a main base. He's happily chilling on 2 bases still. He's getting up his Twilight Council behind this, but, well, this is the figure that really says it all. 39 to 54 workers, and of course Dream is still producing probes slowly, but he's going to have a tough time, especially when this 4th base comes out. It's going to become an absolute nightmare for him. Meanwhile, obviously production is going to be the hard part, because he's only got 3 gateways and the robotic facility, but he's poking and prodding forward. He's getting more mortars out. He's staying in this till the bitter end. MaSsan though, he tastes blood. He is doing nothing but producing workers, nothing producing army rather, no workers at all coming out. He is down at 54, but here comes the drop. This is going to be pretty damn potent. We've got, well, a lot of roaches on their way out. Dream trying to start a step micro back. It's hard to see what's going on here. Can we get a look underneath? The answer is, well, yes we can, but this is not looking good. Complete surround due to the Overlord drop, and well, everything is about to go down now. I'm expecting to see a GG any second, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be it. Although, I think now I've either ordered the games wrong, or this is a best of 5, because I've got a 5th game, and I thought that it was a best of 3. So, there is another game in this series. You're gonna have to go check it out to make sure that you do, in fact, know which it is. So go check that out to see if it's a best of 5 or if I just labeled them wrong, but either way, that was a noob error. I apologize guys. See you at game 3 in a second.